cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2036. I'm your host, Mike Matthews.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's how many shows we've done, is 2036. Here we are Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. I've done a lot of podcasts. It's been neat. I think I've done almost a whole week of podcasts daily. I might have to take a break tomorrow. I might have to fail you and stay off the podcast waves. So if that happens, just, don't take it personally.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I've got things to do. It's tough doing a daily podcast. Why did I come up with that name?
Daily
I did this
Podcast.
2036 episodes ago. Maybe I should have rethought it, but oh well. It's been a long time ago now. And so, yeah, we have, a podcast picture today. Oh, I saw a dolphin. There was a dolphin staring right at me. And this was a picture I found from 6 years ago in Half Moon Bay. Those things, aren't they just magical? Dolphins. You know what's really magical are those narwhals with the unicorn horn on their heads, but they're like a wave, a whale in the waves. It's just crazy. How is that possible? And yeah, or no, you know what? It was a seal that was looking at me. I miss the beach. I'm thinking a lot of the beach these days. And looking at podcast pictures of when Basil the Boxer could walk, and I would take him to the beach constantly. And he would meet a lot of friends and run around. And now he's hanging out here at Cafe Anyway, relaxing. So we'll use a podcast picture from Half Moon Bay. And I would like to go to the beach again someday. The shutdown thing, the lockdown. I need to get out. I need to enjoy the outside and the breeze and the...
And here's today's podcast picture.
But here we are in the U.S., and depending on where you are, you may be able to leave your house and go to work again. But in Lebanon, they've apparently decided, nope, you know what? We tried it, and we got to stop it. They were trying to roll back their lockdown. And now there's been a resurgence of coronavirus cases. So they had to put a curfew. People have to shelter in place. The new restrictions come after the country experienced a peak of coronavirus cases last month. There's Basil now. I think he likes having me hang out with him. Being at home, sheltering in place with him. So in Lebanon, the government's been steadily rolling back lockdown measures as cases declined. Shops reopened, curfew measures were lifted, places of worship opened for the first time in 2 months. But they've had a resurgence, and the uptick in cases has been partly blamed on infected people arriving in Lebanon from overseas. Lebanon's health ministry announced that among an inbound flight from Nigeria carrying 25 Lebanese, all were found to be infected. So is that something that could happen here? They've been having growing poverty and violent clashes. Last month erupted between police and protesters who targeted banks. A little bit of what's happening in Lebanon. Now let's jump over to Virginia. There's an inn in Virginia that has decided that for social distanced dining, they're going to fill the empty tables with mid-century mannequins. Yes, this is the way of the future. Maybe I should buy stock in a mannequin company. Or you just don't put your chairs out. Or you just don't put as many tables out. Or I like all the above. I don't mind sitting next to a mannequin, eating at a restaurant. I don't mind not having as many tables crammed next to each other. I'm loving all of this. But in Washington, Virginia restaurant. Oh, it's in Washington. It's called Virginia Restaurant. Each table will be will provide the setting for a different scene from a proposal to a business meeting. And this is actually an episode of Doctor Who, the first episode of the season with Peter Capaldi when he first took over as the Doctor. There's a scene where he's in a restaurant eating, or he meets up with his, what do you call him? His companion person, the one who travels through time with him. Clara. Clara's sitting with him, and all of a sudden they notice everybody in the restaurant, their machines. So maybe that's what it'll be like for you. You'll be in a restaurant and go, wait, nobody here is alive. It's just me. The mannequins will be dressed in 1940s attire, complete with era-appropriate hair and makeup. The waiters will even be instructed to pour wine for the inanimate guests. Okay. They have to comply with capacity regulations. I love the whole capacity regulation thing. And they're going, but restaurateurs don't like it. But at any rate, it will create, they're actually working with 2 local businesses to stage the tables. They've got a Tony Award-winning nonprofit professional theater company, and also a team of carpenters, painters, designers, and fabricators who are going to facilitate construction. And the mannequin-filled reopening also comes alongside a new menu in this restaurant. Meanwhile, Canada is likely to extend travel restrictions. U.S. and Canada. Canada and the United States appear likely to extend a ban on non-essential travel until June 21st. It continues amid the ongoing pandemic. The 2 neighbors had agreed on April 18th to extend border restrictions until May 21st. Now it looks like it's going all the way to June 21st. The chief Canadian public health officer said the United States, where cases are increasing steadily, it's presenting a risk here in the U.S. And here we are, we're opening places in the U.S. The sources let's see. The agreement allows the flow of goods across a border that stretches 5,525 miles and is a crossing point for one of the world's largest bilateral trading relationships. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. The U.S., Washington and Mexico are also set to extend similar restrictions on non-essential travel. And a Mexican government source said an extension for a limited period of time seemed likely. And that is according to Reuters. And I had a deep thought last night as I couldn't get back to sleep. And I thought, you know what? It would really suck to get the coronavirus. And in some ways, this all rushing to get out and start work again, you have to remember, you could catch this thing. And then you won't be able to breathe very well. And you'll be miserable and terrible. Is that the sacrifice you'd like to make? Now, we make a lot of sacrifices every day. We risk our lives. Just simple things, you know? A bus could hit you. A car could hit you, get killed in an accident. If you're flying, you know the risks. If you're eating out, you know the risks. The restaurant could do something stupid. You could end up being sick that way. So life is full of chances. And maybe that's... Anyway. Cafe anyway. Can't make it all go away. Drinking sugary drinks every day could increase a woman's risk of heart disease and stroke, though. And that was a recent study they did. So there you go. Now I can't even drink soda. A nearly 20% higher risk of having cardiovascular disease if you drink a sugary beverage every day. But they're so good. The type of sugary drink consumed also appeared to affect the risk of experiencing a cardiovascular problem, with drinking one or more sugar-added fruit drink daily linked with a 42% greater risk of having a cardiovascular disease, and drinking soft drinks such as sodas was linked to a 23% higher risk. Wow, so the sugary fruit drinks are way worse, it looks like. Interesting. So you should just eat fruit or make a smoothie. I haven't done that in a while. I have to admit, I have not been the healthiest lately. I need to go to the beach. I need to walk, and I need to eat. I need to drink smoothies, blend up my fruits and vegetables. I need to go to Costco today and get some bananas. There's all kinds of things on my list, ladies and gentlemen. So just remember, the capacity regulations are there to help you. Yet at the same time, we do need to get back to work, it seems. Those are the risks. What are you going to do? Hey, look who's out here at Cafe Anyway. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player tells you what.
What?
I should be allowed to stand outside on the sidewalk and make my delicious ribs and invite people to come on over and lick the ribs.
Lick the ribs? Okay. I don't know if they're going to allow that. I mean,
just lick barbecue sauce off the ribs, I mean.
Okay. Thank you, Disgruntled Fiddle Player. That was shocking and interesting at the same time. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now.
Thank you. Yes. And this has got, I'm sure, all kinds of health. It's a sugary drink. I probably shouldn't be drinking this. Disgruntled Fiddle Player. I mean, Brewmaster. Disgruntled Brewmaster person.
Yeah, okay, drink it right now. I don't care what my name is. Oh, boy. Or I'll cut you.
See, so weighing the risks. Weighing the risks involved with life. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, get out there and enjoy your life. Don't be too sheltered in place, or you'll stop growing as an individual. And we got to keep growing. We got to keep learning things, experiencing things, improving as human beings, all of that stuff. So hopefully that will happen for you. Next show, it'll be the wonderful, that would be Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. There we go. Okay. Oh, and hey, the local Podcastro Valley paper came out today. And I don't know what's in the water in Podcastro Valley, but I'm always reading about people that turn 100 years old in Podcastro Valley. And now there's a World War II U.S. Navy veteran who's celebrating his 105th birthday. Imagine that. That's coming up actually a week from today. So that's pretty dang fantastic. John Zabratsky is his name. Gosh. And you know what? I'm probably, if I were to skim this article super fast, they always ask him, what is it that's helped you stay alive so long? They'll usually say something like, well, I have a lot of friends. I keep in touch with my family, my grandkids, my grandkids. It helps make me feel young. Okay, it doesn't say any of that in this article, though. Thank you. Also, the pandemic has shut down the fair this year, the Alameda County Fair. Shoot, I did not want to see that headline. Dang it. That's too bad. Although I didn't even get to go to it last year, but it was something to look forward to, and now that's gone. Dang it. What do you think we should do instead to celebrate the fair that's not going to be there? 336 daily, 3 + 3 = 6, as in Mike Matthews, daily as in what this podcast now has been for a whole week. Will we have an interruption tomorrow? Maybe. We'll see. But you can call me at that number and let me know what you think of any of the stuff we covered today, any of it. And you can also email me, and here's the A-Team A-Frame to tell you more about that.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!